All right, this is the first loom video I've ever recorded, and I'm gonna give it a shot. I have a new hobby. It's 3D modeling, and I've been using this site called Toby, and it is a very interesting site where you are asked to 3D model these machined parts, and upon finishing your model, you weigh the part and you enter in the weight of your part to verify that you modeled it correctly. So it's kind of an interesting way of validating that you actually followed the spec. I found myself wanting to practice modeling more, but you can only model so many random things around your house before you're like, okay, you know. So this site is pretty fun. It looks like they have tournaments that they conduct. I think that's Toby right here. Hi, Toby. Um, so I am going to attempt to do a machined part live. I've never seen this before in my life. And this could end up being a really, really big disaster. We'll see. Sometimes I end up like watching YouTubes to figure out what to do next. So I'm hoping, given this is just a tier 3, that I can do it on my own. So let's give it a shot. And I'm not going to edit this video. If I were going to edit it, then it would take too much time and I probably wouldn't end up making these videos. So these are going to be completely unedited. If I end up YouTubing or looking up something, you're going to have to stick with me through all the pain. And then maybe later down the road, if I do enough of these, I will begin editing. But here we go. So this has a 30% completion rate. That's a little scary. It does test symmetry, which means could be a good thing, can make it easier. But here we go. We're gonna click to begin. And once you reveal the drawing, the timer starts, and then you enter in your mass when you're done. Here we go. And now, first time I saw a timer, I almost got into a panic. I was like, oh my God, I have to be really quick. But I'm not gonna do that. I cannot panic while I'm on Fusion. Otherwise, I will just mess things up. So the first thing that I'm trying to get better at when I'm approaching one of these is to kind of understand what's probably like the best sketch direction, because you can sketch from pretty much any direction. And depending on what direction you sketch, whether on like the XY or the XZ axis, like it can make things more difficult later down the road if you pick the wrong direction. So for example, if I were to sketch this and then extrude it, I would end up with like a block without any of these details that's roughly in the shape of this. And then I'd have to start carving away all the details. Where my head's going at just thinking about this is probably sketching. I probably would do this, extrude it up this distance up until this like little half pipe, and then do another extrusion on top of this plane and carve out this arc. And then this here would just be an offset. Yeah, this would just be an offset from that shape, and then extrude that and then put in the fillets. And there's also these circles. think that is probably the easiest. I'm probably gonna regret this, but here we go. So what does this mean? So first off, I'm gonna make sure like I can see it and y'all can see it. So what I'll do is let's make, I don't know, can I make this smaller? I sure can. Oh, that works out real nice. Oh, that didn't work out nice. Oh my gosh. There we go. That'll do. Well, I may as well just pull it up then. All right, so what do we got going on here? So I'm gonna do a sketch on the XY, and I'm gonna try and just mimic this basic shape. And I guess I'll do it. Now here's another thing, like I could either try and do the whole thing or I just do half and then mirror it at the end. What's gonna be easier? I suppose I'll take a stab at doing the mirror, which means I'm gonna have to plug in like a lot of halves to get these things right, but like that's not too difficult to do. All right, so what do we want to do? Let's do a center rectangle. Actually, no. How do I want to do this? Decisions. I'm probably going to regret this, but whatever. So this is going to equal 165 over 2. That's this length here. I'm going to do it in halves though, so that it's easier to do. And then this is 85. And I didn't check, is this in millimeters or not? Yeah, it's in millimeters. Okay. That helps. So what now? I have the basic shape of this half of the side of the part, and now I'm just going to try and get this like half slot done, and this slot comes in at the center here. Heck, I could really just do like this bottom quadrant and then mirror, but is that easier or harder? We'll just figure this out. So this looks like a slot. I'm gonna try and do, I don't know if this is actually the right one to use, but we'll give it a shot. So I want this slot at the halfway point of this line. And so what can I do? This is where I start getting mixed up with things. What do I want? I mean, one like kind of ghetto way I've been doing this, and I don't know if it's right, is just like setting two construction lines from here to here, and then from here to here, and then setting them equal to one another. But there's probably a smarter way of doing this that I'm not aware of. I think it probably has to do with this and this line. Like if I select this one and I select this one Is there a constraint for midpoint? Oh, interesting. So the midpoint puts the dot on the midpoint, which is not necessarily what I want. Is there a slot where I can select the center of the slot? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, maybe that's what we want. So let's get rid of that. And then what we'll do is a slot with the center point. We'll stick it on this line and then bring it out to here. Oh, that's money. That's money. And then if we just select this, and then we select this line, and then do the midpoint constraint, that will be symmetrical. And then we know the distance between the axis, the origin, and this point is 108/2. So you just select this guy, and we'll set that to 108/2. And there you have your slot. And then what I'll do then, how do I make, how do I figure out where these intersect? Can I do that? Oh, I can just delete that. No, I can't. How do I, this is where I get mixed up on things. Like, I want to break this. Oh. Okay. So that worked. So now we just get rid of that. Well, that was pretty cool. What else we got going on? I feel like that's gonna do it for this half. Then I can add the fillets on these corners. You're supposed to fill it at the end, but sometimes I find it easier for some of these shapes to just fill it right at the beginning. It should tell me what that is. So it's an R10. So I just have to punch in 10. Good to go. Oh no, I had a constraint remove. I don't know why it does that. So you're just watching all of my silliness. All right, so that is half of this guy. And then we know that the height of this thing is 12. So we are going to, oh, I guess I didn't do the inside. Oh wait, what am I looking at? No, that's fine. So I think I can extrude this at this point. So if I just extrude this face, and we'll extrude it up, what does it say it is, 12? There we go, that should look somewhat like half of the bottom layer of this thing, which I feel like it does. All right, next, let's do this sort of lip over here with the fillet. So if we do another sketch on this plane, I should then be able to project these lines onto this. So first I'll project this guy, this guy, this guy. I mean, I'll project the edges too, why not? Do I need to project those edges? I don't know, because I'm a noob. But I do know that I want to offset from here, here, and here, which is this nifty tool. And then if we offset, this is a 5mm lip. So if we do 5, flip it, that should take care of that. And then we'll break this. Break. And that one already broke, so that works. Oh, I didn't mean to put that in there. Oh no, it didn't break. So we'll break that. And at that point, that should be a closed sketch. You can tell by the lock. It's not. Oh, I didn't break it. Break. Anyways, I don't know if I even need to break that because I'm able to touch, or I'm able to select that plane or face. So let's extrude that up, and that is let's see. I mean, it's showing it from the bottom, but we know that this is 12, so I'm just gonna do it up, 3 more millimeters. It's probably telling me that I did this wrong, but that's okay. We live and we learn. So that's done. And then I'll just add that fillet. Should tell me the radius of this fillet somewhere. Yellow fillets are R2. There we go. So if we select this line, again, you're supposed to do these at the end, but I'm not going to be modifying this area again, so I'm a completionist, what can I say? And there you go. That looks pretty much on point. Okay. Next, we're gonna do this little half pipe. So half of a half pipe, which it looks like it's an arc with a radius 50. I've never done a quarter arc, so I'm probably gonna end up doing a full arc and then cutting it, which is fine. So now the question is, how do I do this? If I had actually centered this around the actual origin, this would have been a lot easier because I could have just drawn the profile of this on this line and then extruded it but whatever. I mean, this is why every video tells you to like stick to the origin, because then it just makes everything else down the line a lot easier. But let's keep going. Maybe I'll do a video after this where I like reassess my whole approach and then come up with a speed run. I've seen a few people do speed runs of these things. But how do we want to do this? I'm gonna say let's do this thing here, extrude it up some distance. It doesn't need to be, we could do whatever distance we want. Actually, no. We'll do the height of this lip right here, which is 25. And then once I do that, I'll just get a sketch going and I'll carve out the arc. So we'll get this going on the top face. Yeah, it would have been really easier if I had done the rectangle around the origin, whatever. Let's keep going. So my thoughts here are, I'm going to do a construction line from this center point to this line. That'll give me a place to then create my 90 tall rectangle. So let's do that. So center rectangle, and I'm going to do it 90. And then we know that the outer edges of it are 65 based on this here. So I'll do 65 because this is a center. What would I do here? 90. I don't need to divide it by 2. So I need a 90. Oh, now I'm getting mixed up. This should be 90. And then this should be 65. And it should not be a construction. Darn it. I'll figure that out at the end. What's kind of interesting here now is with this overlay, I can actually do like I can use these corners to now do like a triangle, or sorry, a rectangle over it. Why do I keep doing construction lines? Let's select this. Let's make that not a construction line. Flailing. Flailing. Let's get rid of all these. Here we go. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. That was probably the dumbest way you can do that. But that's okay. You know what? That's just how we're gonna do things around here. I think that's right. And we're gonna extrude that up 25. sorry. We're going to extrude that up 25 minus 12 because of this height, which is also, again, another example of how I maybe got this wrong. Okay. And then we're gonna do a sketch on this face to get the arc, and it's a quarter arc, but again, I'll just do I don't know, let's look at what arc options we have here. I think a 3-point arc is what we want, right? So like I do this, I do this, and then we stretch this out. And I think you can then like measure, sorry. Yeah, you can set the radius of this to 50. And then I can move these over, oops, I can move this up. And I can move this over. Interestingly, I don't understand why. Oh, the arc is like inverted. Right, abort, 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 abort. I did that wrong, I think. Arcs are hard. Arcs are hard. Let's mirror this real quick. Let's project it first. This is so bad. This doesn't make any sense. That is the dumbest way I could think of doing it. That's what I'm going for. It's just dumb. Okay. So again, we're going to try and do an arc. I'm just looking at this. I'm pretty sure I can do like boom, boom, and then there we want the line. Boom, okay. Now we've got the arc. And then we can set this to 50. Perfect. Yeah. Then as for these lines, they need to be let's do this is I wanted to say horizontally aligned. I can't do horizontally aligned with the arc. No, that's annoying. How do I center these puppies around this guy? I find these sorts of things so unintuitive with Fusion. Like I just want these things to basically be equidistant from, oh, it's this thing. That's what you do. So if we make these vertically aligned, boom. Okay. Phew. All right, and then we know the distance of these corners. Oh no, that's the circle. Where are these top edges defined? They don't define them here. They do define 65 here, which we've already done. Are we supposed to assume that, oh, got it. It's saying the bottom of the arc and the bottom of this is 16. Okay. So can I do bottom? Can I do this? And then this line distance? No, because it's going to do it from the freaking radius. Interesting. So how do you measure from this point? Do I just break this? Okay. And then I'll grab this guy and then we'll set, that can't be the way to do it, but it works. We're setting that to 16. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. And so that distance is just determined based off of the radius being centered and the distance of the bottom of the arc. And that, basically I shouldn't be able to move this. Yeah. So now we can just extrude this all the way. I think you can be fancy and just say to object. Sure. Okay. So that's taken care of. Now we just have a couple holes, or just one hole. And so, does it define the distance from the distance from the bottom and the distance from the midpoint? So that's easy enough. So do a sketch on here. And then we'll just draw the circle. Set a dimension on, actually, it's so much easier just to punch in the radius when you're building it. So these radiuses are 5 through. So there's your 5. And then this distance, and that is 18. I almost got it right on the money. And then the distance from the center is 55 over 2. Okay, and it's a through hole. So we're just gonna, again, so we'll finish the sketch, and then we'll extrude that. To object, and then go all the way through. Okay. So now, all we have to do is mirror this puppy. So if you select mirror, and we select our body, and we select our mirror plane, which is going to be this, and join it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've done it. I think we've done it. So the last thing you have to do with these 2 tall Tobys is set the right material. So I have like a specific 2 tall Toby plain carbon steel, which I put into here. go to metal. Oh no. Is it in my favorites? I think there's another way for me to do this easily. I hit A for appearance and then do no, I don't think that works. So we're gonna go to, oh, I did, you know, the first thing they always tell you to do is make a component. So we're gonna make a component. I should have done that first. Select physical material on the component. Go to my favorites. Oh, it's not there. Oh my God, you know what? I think I just moved from my laptop recently. And I don't think it copies over your settings, unfortunately. So what are we gonna do here? We are going to manage materials. Let me see if it's in here. Carbon, steel. It's not. So I'm gonna add this to my favorites. And then in my favorites, I'm gonna duplicate it. And then we're gonna do, I can't, oh no. Here we go. I'll just say plain carbon steel too tall Toby. Maybe I'll create like a too tall Toby folder. And then the most important thing I need to edit as part of this is the density. So it needs to be, oh, it's close, 7.8. All right, now we go to physical. Go to my favorites, and then we drag the too tall Toby onto there. And then once we've got the right material, I think I can just go over to my component now and look at properties. And I've got the mass, which looks a little heavy. So we're gonna punch that in. It looks real heavy. I hope I didn't mess up big time. 1498.715. Oh no. So here's where things get kind of tricky. I'm gonna just double check the material. I really hope that's it, because going back through and trying to figure out what I did wrong is gonna be kind of hard. We got the density right. Oh boy, that's a little scary. So we're just gonna start measuring some things, like let's measure from here to here. That's 15. We got that right. Okay. Let's measure let's measure the lip real quick. So from here, oh, that didn't work. From here to here. That's 5. We got that right. I mean, it looks right. Let me see if there's anything as part of this that I didn't catch. Let's look at it on the right and make sure it looks like this. Yeah, it looks really close. And we got the center holes right, I think. Diameter 5. Diameter 5 through in 2 places. What else could it be? We could do the distance between these 2 center points. That seems a little extreme. I don't even know how to select the center point, to be honest, with the inspect tool. Oh, what a shame, you know. All right, let's measure. This is 90. Yeah, let's just double check the 90. Things got a little wonky when I was doing that. Let's measure this to this. That's 90. Why is that 16.194? That is a little concerning, right? That's the center point, I think. Or does it measure just from where I clicked? I'm gonna click like, let's measure, all right, let's reset. Measure from here to this bottom line, 16.194. That is not right. So what we're gonna do is go back. What did I mess up? That is for the carve out. So we're gonna finish that one. I think I want this. I'm getting a little mixed up now. Let's go home. Okay, now that is the right one. I can't move that though. Like if I wanted to set a constraint. Wait, what am I editing right now? I don't want any, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna delete that. We gotta find the sketch where we made the carve out for the circle. So that's the extrude. So it has to have been this one. Okay. So we thought that this was 16, but it's not. Or like that's not the min. You know, these things are so hard to tell sometimes. So we can, theoretically this is movable. Oh, interesting. Oh. So this needs to be coincident with this. Okay, now it's perfectly centered. Before only that was centered. So now if we measure this to this, set it to 16, finish sketch, measure this to this. 16.194, what the freak? What's going on? Why? I mean, that's crazy. I don't know what else to do. That's not what I wanted. I honestly don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's perfectly constrained. It's a radius 50. And we've got the min set to 16. But when we go and actually measure it, it's not 16. So what does that mean? What could that mean? It could mean that this isn't on the origin, but that would not make sense. It is the freaking origin. Let's break this. Okay, this is perfectly constrained. It's 50. This is definitely on the line. And if we do distance from here to here, I just don't know. I have no idea what else to do there. I mean, I don't think the weight changed. We can check. Whoops, I think that was the thing I removed last. Okay. And this got so painful. I hope no one actually ever watches this because it will be very painful for you to watch. Painful for me to do. I thought I was on a roll, you know. I felt great. But that's what 3D modeling is. You just like, you feel so good about it, and then you run into something like this, and it's just like a weird edge case. 1498715. Yeah. I mean, the only option here probably for me is to just start from scratch. Let me just double check the drawings, see if there's anything I didn't quite catch before. We've got yellow fillets. Those are 2s. We can double check. Let's close that. Edit feature. Those are 2s, yeah. We've got 5 radius or 5 diameter through holes. Those are legit. The only thing that really bothers me is the fact that when I measure the bottom of that circle, just thinking, is there any way I can reapproach drawing the arc where maybe there's ways of drawing arcs so that I've got to be on the sketch. You have a center point arc, a 3-point arc. What is a center point arc? Oh. Interesting. Wait, how did that work? You select your center. So I could like select that. Then you select one end and then you select the other end. I like that. That's actually kind of closer to what we wanted. And that guarantees that whatever point lines up. What is this? Get rid of this. Get rid of all this crap. Okay, we're starting from scratch, baby. Which is gonna royally F maybe a lot of other things, but that's okay. So if we do a center point on this axis, then boom, boom. I like that because now we have like a legit point. And then I can just say, hey, this needs to be vertically aligned with this. Wait, how do I do this? Yeah, so this and this need to be coincident, I think is the right way of doing it. So that can't move. And then can say that this and this should be vertically aligned. Yep. And then we can say this is coincident with this. Okay, and we just got the blue shade. Okay. Now I just need to make sure that this, the distance between that and the origin is 16. Yeah. And then I also need to make sure that this radius is 50. Okay. Oh, it looks like, did the extrude work? Okay. So let's measure one more time. Drum roll, please. I don't know. I'm pretty confident I got that part right. Let's see if the weight changed at all because of that. 1.498715. Freaking heck. Oh man. I don't know. I'm out of words right now. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna cheat. Let's do one more thing. So let's look at this sketch. And like, let's measure from here to here. 42.5. Okay. We have R10s here. Those are all good. I'm just out of ideas. Let's measure. I mean, we don't need to measure. 165. Yeah, that's right too. And 85 tall. That's correct. Oh, wait a second. How did I measure this distance? Oh my God. Oh no. That's what it is. Oh my God, no. That's it, isn't it? Oh my God. That should be 15. Thomas. All right, well, we found it, ladies and gentlemen. We found it. This and this should be 15. And this and this need to be horizontal, although it's not going to affect the weight. What the fuck is going on? Why does it do that? Like if I move this around, no, that's not what we want. How do I make this centered? Where did this line come from? Oh, my original approach to Swick was completely wrong. I mean, the one way of doing this is to just draw a construction line from here to here, and then just to make sure this is horizontal. Oh boy. But again, that's still, what is going on? These are tangents, right? Can we make sure that these are tangents? All right, let's rewind here a second. These are going to definitely be tangent, or tangent. Boom. And I can't select that line. I don't understand. Do I have to break this? Oh, maybe the slot is what's really just messing me up. You know what I'm saying? The slot was just probably the worst idea ever. So let's do it over. What we want is a line, it's horizontal. Of course, I don't want all construction lines. And then we want a tangent arc. And then we want this distance to be 15. I don't want those to be movable. Okay. And then we want this and this to be, I think we did it. Oh man. Oh boy. I mean, now here comes the real pain, right? Here comes the real pain. Yeah. I mean, this is the downsides of starting over, right? Downsides is starting over. It's okay. We're learning here. We're learning. Oh, whoops. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's not going to like that fillet until I fix this distance, which is 108 over 2 from here to here. Failed to solve. Delete or modify one of the following constraint dimensions, D36. Oh. Wait, what the heck? Can I not move this? Oh boy. This is painful. This is the most painful one I've ever done. But it's also one I've not looked for any help at all. And it was all because I just didn't really take my time with this stupid piece here. All right, if this isn't it, I might have to call it a night. Unfortunately, I'm just too tired. But let's do it. Oh wow, it's actually heavier. 1549974. All right, watch my face as I enter this in to see my utter dismay when it's actually not it, because I messed up something else. Yay! It took me an hour and 6 minutes. Oh my god. I'm so terrible at Fusion. Oh, I'm so bad. I'm gonna have to speed run this one again. All right, what did we learn? What did we learn? We learned that the slot, that was, I think, like the biggest learning, honestly, was like, if you have something that looks like a slot, it doesn't mean you should use a slot. You should use some lines, a tangent arc with some horizontal constraints, and look at me moving this around. I mean, it doesn't affect the weight. Like, I haven't even gotten this right. I need to figure out how to align this. I think that was the biggest mistake. I don't regret these early fillets on here. I think that's the major learning. I guess another learning is that, I mean, this really threw me through a curve, measuring the bottom of that arc. I think I ended up like by reapproaching that, ended up solving it a better way in the end. So like I'm happy that even though I was right all along, probably there, I learned about the center point arc. That was super helpful for doing a quad arc, like a quadrant arc, because you know where the center is and you just kind of select your 2 points and then you can strain them. All right, this video is already way too long, so I'm going to call it. If anyone's watching this, I'm so sorry.